All right, what is up, everybody? My name is Darren. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Stock Mafia. What is going on? I'm waiting. I guess I'll wait a little bit, a couple seconds or whatever, to get some people in here. What is going on? Yeah, if you're in here and there's a couple people in here right now, just say what's up. You don't get charged. um, I think that's funny how all these chats charge people. I guess if you have a bazillion questions, I guess that's the only way to people to get their questions done. But you know, for right now, it's obviously not going to be that's the case. Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk stocks. Let's talk AMC. Let's talk GME. Obviously, not financial advice. Not a financial advisor. Get that out of the way, and let's get cooking. You can see up on my screen right now. If everybody has everybody seen the tweet from Adam Aaron about telling, I'll just read it. It says, Forbes, Jeff Conway emailed me, said, "Hi Adam, I saw Triangle of Sadness at your AMC The Grove movie theater. Best movie I've seen in my entire life." Blah blah blah. So, I know me personally, if you see my videos and getting tired, hey Joey, what's happening? Joey Booms, what's up? Yeah, if anybody's tired of these riddles, I get it. I personally, if you saw my last video, I'm like, stop playing with me like I'm your 4-year-old child and I'm running around. And if I get the riddle right, you give me a couple M&Ms. I'm tired of that crap. But we take the breadcrumbs that are given to us, and Adam Aaron is obviously very cautious about getting in trouble legally, which I just crack up. It's like someone's coming in to murder your family and you're worried about shooting them in your own house. I think Adam Aaron needs to stop being a little bit of a pussy and start standing up to these guys and start playing a little bit more offense. But needless to say, he's not doing that. He's still sending out little baby riddles to all of us. So we'll just kind of roll with that. This tequila, type tequila. That's what I need is tequila. Triangle of Sadness. Triangle of Sadness. So if you look at the overview of this, which I have up on the screen, our little Triangle of Sadness is a cruise for the super rich sinks, leaving survivors, including a fashion model celebrity couple, trapped on an island. That's pretty interesting. I mean, out of all the bullshit clues that we all keep getting with these guys, and I'll go after Ryan Cohen on this as well. This Triangle of Sadness overview, that's a clue. So if anybody wants any type of hopium from Adam Aaron, he just gave it to us. Whatever that means, does that mean he's doing something in the next 2 days, 3 days, 3 weeks? God, I hope so. I really hope so. So it's one of those things where I just hope that whatever he is posting, I know he's trying to tell us it's going to be okay. Man, Adam, if you're listening to me, don't screw us. I personally, and I've had this conversation with my friends, I personally don't think Adam Aaron is going to try to screw us. I don't really think, I've said this 100 times over, I don't think he's trying to get us to go to 500K a share either. But the one thing I will say is he's exposing himself by going to these movie premieres. So he is kind of going out in the public. And if anybody's ever comes in here and is going to one of these movie premieres, please tell me. I would love to know. I would love to get your feedback. I'd love to see what you have to say about it. And, with that, listen, we've got a couple people in the chat. You guys got something to say, please say it. What's going on? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good that it's going down? Are you feeling bad that it's going down? Are you staying zen, as everyone likes to say on Reddit? I'm zen. Joey, what's going on, man? Just tell me tell me how you're feeling with all this nonsense. Because I will tell you this, and I've been in this for a long time, and if it's the first time in here, I just tell you I do day trade for a living. I am a business educator, so I'm allowed to talk about whatever I want, and I don't necessarily have to say not financial advice, but I do that just for my own protection. Um, so I am educated in the realm of business. I have my master's degree. I'm really smart. Um, I'm not smarter than anybody else. Honestly, I have a perception of the market that works for me and has helped me make money doing it. So, but I'm locked up like you guys right now. I'm not heavily trading because a lot of my resources are in AMC and GameStop. So I am locked up. I want to go as low as yeah, Joe. You know what's funny? I'm the same way. So Joey just said I wanted to go as low as they need to cover for people who are driving and listening. It's just taking forever. Yeah, and you know what that is to me? Like that's political. That's where we get into the politics side. These guys are so it's like it's almost like a leaky faucet. It's just dripping every day. It's costing them the same amount of money, but they won't call the plumber. And that's how I view it. They're just letting the sink just drip, drip, drip. And it's all but the thing is all that water's coming out eventually. And they won't call the plumber to fix it. England and listen, the way I describe things is more a little like street knowledge is, some dude in charge of the Bank of England, the Fed chairman, if they have a Fed, whatever. I don't care. I just know that he's in charge of shit. And he gave them 3 days to fix whatever they need to fix by Friday. And it was like a big deadline. Everybody went nuts over it. And it was like, oh, well, and I was like, yeah, it's great news. Like, at least because I believe if this thing is going to squeeze, I think the international pressure is going to help us. Like, it's not going to help us. It's going to make it happen. And why do I say that? Well, because the United States is corrupt. Our country is corrupt. That's the bottom line. And people are like, oh, you can't say that. Man, I don't give a shit. Like I'm a citizen of the United States. Like I'm allowed to have an opinion and I have a vote. And the United States is corrupt. Everybody listening to internationally, like, yeah, we have it good in the US because we have a voice, but our country is corrupt and it's being exposed. And listen, I mean, I just don't, me personally on a political side, I want everybody out. And you can sit there and go, oh, this guy's like a Trumpy. I'm not a Trumpy. I think he can be, he can be a jerk at times. But I think the allure to somebody like Trump or even Mark Cuban, whom I love, just from a business, I just love him. I just think he seems like a good dude. He doesn't want it. He wanted to run for president. His family told him don't do it because they don't want to deal with the bullshit. And he's got a good life. What does he want to become a president for? I mean, being president is ego driven or it's politically like you're some lifetime politician. So I just like somebody from the outside coming in and breaking the dishes, and I don't care how it's done. That's my opinion on that. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's my neighbor. But I don't want to vote in some 16-year senator from the state of, I don't know, Pennsylvania. I don't want to do it because these guys are all on the take and they've been on the take from the beginning. Because personally, if you start from the bottom and you do it the way it's done, that's what you have to do. You got to take money from people and you got to make promises to get there. And maybe the best avenue to get into something like politics is to become really popular on YouTube and run for president or run for state senator, because then you're not shaking hands with people and making promises to people because you need money. You need money for political ads. Yo, Mr. Simon yo, what's up, street cred? So we're talking just about corruption. Yeah, I said the U.S. is the most corrupt. So, Mr. Simon, you're in the U.S., correct? Who's not in the US? I should say that. Triangle sadness for Adam is a double. It's okay. So, Mr. The One, welcome. First time I've seen you, so welcome. Triangle sadness for Adam is a double. It's also AMC Ape, HOMC, interconnection. What would be the incentive for him to screw the people who helped him? Strategic thinkers don't think tactical. Yeah. So what you guys need to understand is then this is why I come on my live stream is because I committed to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was too much for me. I just had too much going on with family and stuff and work, honestly, because I need to pay attention to the market and I have other side hustles, and somehow you combine all my side hustles and you have an income. But my point is I will always be here on Wednesdays. And that's what I'm going to tell you. I'm always going to, and if it's not Wednesdays, I'm always going to come on weekly and give you guys a heads up. I'm just trying to figure out my schedule because I want to put a face to my videos. I want to put a face to this movement, and I want people to understand me enough to understand and be like, yo, Darren's a pretty good dude. Like sometimes he can be a dick, but he's a pretty good dude. And that's what I want you to understand about me. I've said this 100 times over. You got to share my videos. You got to subscribe. And you're like, yeah, dude, I got you. Yeah, you making money. I don't care. Like if there was I'll be honest with you, if there was enough people out there that I respected, I would have never even come on the YouTube because I would have felt like the message was already sent. So I saw it as a marketing opportunity in some respects. And I thought, I have an opportunity to get out there and have my voice. Street creds from Texas, baby. The motherland, dude. We got a Texas and Florida, like to the much love, baby. We're holding up the fort up here in the Northeast, but it ain't easy. Texas and Florida is it's like two different countries, man, or they're the same country. They're just separated. St. Louis, all right, dude. Joey. Sorry, brother. My Phillies took it to you, man. My Phillies took it to you. But getting into the political side of stuff, it's like I don't want to sit here and talk about politics because it's like it's all nonsense. These guys are all clearly all paid off, or they'd be doing something about it. That's KJ. KJU. I'm with you. KJ says, will any apes call AA out at the Atlanta viewing? So I will promise you guys this, that I am putting a video out tonight and making a call out to anybody that is going to that movie theater to put some sort of, you don't have to put pressure on him. You don't have to put him in a headlock. He's an old guy. You might hurt him. You might get sued. You pull on his long pants. But somebody's got to really start asking this guy real questions. Like, what are you doing? And why the community is very frustrated. What's he going to say? I understand. Okay. Well, what do you understand? Well, I can't talk about this legally. I mean, what can you talk about? I mean, you got to follow up questions. You got to be a reporter. And being a reporter, be a reporter from the 1970s, not a reporter today who just takes it up the you-know-what and gives and takes whatever these people want to tell them. Because you're not allowed to ask tough questions anymore. You're not allowed to be a reporter or a journalist anymore. You got to be like Gasbag and take money from hedgies and put out their message, just like him and Booyah. So, so it'd be nice to find somebody that's actually going to that. Listen, if Adam Aaron, and it's funny, Adam Aaron is actually from my neck of the woods. He went to high school. We actually played his high school in sports. So football, basketball, baseball, that kind of stuff. That was my thing a long time ago. So if he ever does a local viewing or, I will go. I will definitely go. I will go. If it's within like a 2-hour drive, I will go. And it'll probably, if you know anything about Pennsylvania, 90% of the population is in the Philadelphia area of Pennsylvania. So he would do something around here if he was going to have a viewing around here. Yeah, KJ, so I'm with you, man. So you and I are speaking the same language, and I will quote you on this. KJU says, if you're driving and just listening, and I quote, high fives and bullshit and picture taking is over. Dude, that is boss. I'm screenshotting that, man. I fucking love it. I love it. I gotta be honest with you, man. I get so pissed off. I get so pissed off that I love when other people are pissed off. It's like we're more the merrier, right? Let all the crazies sit at the same table. Yeah, I'm tired of it too. I'm tired of. I actually went on, and I'm not going to call the guy out because he has, he did a thing on Twitter because he took a camera thing when AA was doing his last theater viewing, PR campaign, hugs and kisses, the babies kind of crap. And I appreciate that because he does come out in the public. But what I'm trying to say is, so I tweeted the guy and said, yo, dude, I know my channel is new, but if you check out my videos, you probably appreciate what I'm trying to say. Would you come on my thing? And I know he read it, but he didn't respond. And that's cool. Like, don't respond. Like, you don't want to come on. Most people don't. Like, I think I hope you guys appreciate it. It's kind of courageous to put your face out there. I mean, the guys that hide behind the screen and talk, only guy I'll let do that is AMC Bigums. Only guy I'll let do that because that dude is smart as shit. One day when this channel gets bigger, he's going to come on here and talk because I'm going to force the issue. Because the guy is very smart and he's for us. And that's it. That's it. So I don't know if you guys have been watching my videos, but I gotta say something. I don't mean to talk trash about people, and that's not really my goal. But I am here to kind of like set things straight, especially with people that are talking. Let's see if I can find them. Huh. Sorry, I'm just typing it in. I have to find them. I can't find them. Well, bottom line is if you follow at Froggy Stonks or Spence, I called him out because he had said something on Twitter and said that he had bought like $10,000 worth of ape. Now, I had followed him before, and listen, there's impossible to agree with everything anybody says. But then he came out and said, I bought $10,000 worth of ape. And then 2 hours he tweeted, I think we should all stop buying ape because we're just giving money to the hedge funds. And I'm like, dude, you just established your position in ape and now you're telling people not to buy it. And he's also kind of pushed down where he said, I don't think we can get to $80. So just as I said before, be careful who you listen to and who you follow, because that kind of stuff where you say you don't think it's $80, dude, kiss off. Because here's the thing. We all feel like we're not going to get what we want to get, but then we also know what we deserve and what it should be at. So I just want to give you a heads up. So when I don't understand why I can't find this guy. I did have, let me see my messages right here. Oh, there he is. There we go. So, he changed his picture. Good for you, man. Now you don't have a toy on your head. And I'm going to come at him a little bit. I appreciate him military. I appreciate what he's done. Guy does space calls 7 hours a day. I don't know what he's doing for work. But he blocked me. So all I said was, you're sending a mixed message about ape. You're saying you bought it, and now you're telling people not to buy it because you established your position, and he blocked me. I will tell you guys one thing. Unless you threaten my life, I'm not going to block you because I want to know what you're up to. Yeah. And nothing listen, I'm not Tara Bull, the same thing. I don't know if you guys get on Twitter and stuff, but she seems like a nice girl. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like she's just an investor. She doesn't have any knowledge of the market unless what has been taught to her. And let's be honest, like she's a pretty face. And that's how she's gotten big. She has I don't know, what are those things called? For Me page, or I don't know, some porn thing. I mean, she's blatantly like, yo, Childs, what's up, man? So I don't know. I think she's good. I mean, she serves really as a moderator in these space calls, but if you get into a lot of these space calls, it's a lot of bitching and complaining. Although yesterday's was pretty good. I'm surprised they didn't throw me out. They'll throw me out soon. With pretty good. Pete from Philly kind of gave some good information if anybody was in on that. Yeah, I'm talking about Tara. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no, she's, like I said, she's a good moderator, but I'm sure her For Me, what the hell is that thing called? For Me, For Us, the porn thing. The pay to see me naked channel page. That's her thing. Yeah. Well, like I said, and that's why I'm leaving up there. Like, Spence blocked me because I just questioned what he said. So, he's Mr. I'm for the people, and he plays the military card, which he really should. OnlyFans, boom, Mr. Simon. There you are, my man. Yeah, so she has her OnlyFans page, and she's had it. So I'm sure with all the Twitter stuff, when she talks, people are like, yo, I get to listen to her talk 7 hours a day, and then I get to see her naked. Oh my God, she's my girlfriend. I'm sure a lot of people are kind of like that way. It's like going to a strip club and the guy says he thinks the strippers likes him. I'm sure she does. All right, Mr. Simon, I'm not going to say that out loud, but if anybody wants to read what he just put in the comments, it's kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, I try to keep this because my goal is not to talk bad about anybody, but I just want everybody to just kind of stay on top of things. And listen, when I bring it, I expect it. So, you can call me some bald, old ass, whatever. Like, you can do that because I just came at somebody. But I won't block you because I want to hear what you have to say. And I don't hear how crazy you are. There might be people on YouTube that maybe I prejudge them and I can't listen to them. Well, that's my thing. I mean, it's horrible. I try. I mean, a lot of you guys watch CSI, and my buddy watches them too. And I'm trying to give him a chance. It's hard for me because, I don't know where he's living, and just trying to but I don't want to judge because he's come up with some pretty cool stuff, and I'll give him credence for that. Because here's the bottom line: who gives a shit if we all like each other or not? We just want to get paid. I mean, that's it. We all know what we have. Yeah. So AMC, KJ just said AMC dropped. Let me just bring that up. I'll get Spence off here. Listen, but here's the thing, KJ, didn't you say you wanted everything to go down? You should be cheering for this. Yeah, honestly, at this point, who cares? Who cares? Because with all this stuff going on, I want to see everything just go that's what I want to see. I want to see everything blow up. Yeah, Mr. Simon was talking about Tara. Yeah, she has listen, I mean, I don't know, maybe when I'm 80 and I don't have anybody in my life, I'll fall in love with somebody on Twitter and pay you for an OnlyFans page. I don't know. But other than that, I bet you she's making a lot of money on her OnlyFans page by just going and talking, because she has a good broadcaster voice. She has that sultry voice. I'm sure she's seducing some men on Twitter or women, but that's her thing. And good for her. She seems like a good person. She always says, but she says she puts out goodness, and I've never heard her do anything badly. But like I said, she's a moderator for these space calls, and a lot of these space calls can get a little just a lot of bitching and complaining, which is what we're doing, kind of sort of now. But no. So if you just came into the chat, I'd love to just talk about this one more time. Let me see if I can get out of here. There we go. Yeah, this Adam Aaron, where he talked about the movie The Triangle of Sadness, from my boys that have come in here a couple times, like Childs and Simon, and Street Cred. I think this is, even though I hate the little breadcrumbs that he sprinkles for us, and we have to follow and figure out his riddles. The overview of Triangle of Sadness, and it's the movie is about a cruise for the super rich sinks, leaving survivors, including a fashion model celebrity couple, trapped on an island. I don't know, man. I never heard of this movie. I mean, it's who's in this movie. The only person I actually know who this is Woody Harrelson. To me, that is a clue to what's up, Manny? What's going on? That is a clue for us, and I will accept it as much as I can't stand it, because what else can we do? What else can we take? He's not going to give us any real concrete information. Although he promised us, I don't know if he promised us a share count, but he did. He promised us a share count because once he finds proof of the synthetics, and we've proven that already. It's been proven. So that being said, hey, listen, if you're in the chat, like, subscribe, please share my videos, for anything more than just to protect your investment. If you've been on any of my videos, you know that my heart is in the right place, and I don't plan on leaving. Actually, I will make you this promise. I will always stream. I will always put a face to my videos and have an open forum for people to be like, I'm sorry, I'm reading Child's thing about Tara. I will always put a face to my videos and let you guys come at me whenever you want. Oh, KJ, yeah, good point. So I'll go to Child's. I mean, I'm with you, man, about Tara. It's whatever, she's like I said, she's a moderator. She's a moderator for that forum, and they've been bringing people on, and when they bring people on from the industry, that's good. But now KJ's going to go back to, and I'm going to bring up, because if you're not into GME, I mean, you really should. If you're into this movement, you should be into the other movement, not financial advice. If you're not, it's all good. There he is. So his stuff is so cryptic, it's like I'm almost over it. But I will tell you this, he hadn't spoken since August 24th, or he hadn't tweeted since August 24th. Talking about Ryan Cohen and GameStop. And I am a GME holder, and that's my diversification. Oh, yeah. So I'm stuck in GME, and I'm stuck in AMC. But to be honest, like I know we all, and I do this myself, I forget that there's something outside of these two stocks. But look at the market. I mean, it's shit right now. So, and I will tell you this, when I was doing a lot of like my reading on Reddit and trying to really get into this about 2 years ago, in these two stocks, everybody kind of like foresaw this, and they said, listen, when the market crashes, the only way we're going to make money is when the market crashes. And I still believe that. And when I say crash, I mean like crash and burn, people losing homes, pension funds blowing up, crash. Not, oh, the Dow went down 700 points today. We haven't seen that since February of 2002. Like, not that type of crash. I'm talking crash, where like things go bad. And here's the thing. Am I rooting for that? Well, I follow the market. It's going to happen anyway. So I'm not rooting for anybody to get hurt, but I also know what's coming our way. And I'm like, what is the delay? I think the sooner we get there, the better. And the reason it hasn't got there, guys, is because this time the people, us, The people in our chat, we're not losing. They are. So fuck them. That's what I say. I mean, that's the bottom line. I don't care, because, and it's people that are managing these pensions, and they're like, pension funds are going to get hurt. Well, who's managing these pensions? Well, if a hedge fund is managing them, who put them in charge of that? Like, there's a responsibility hierarchy there that it's coming down. And I tell you what, I'm a former teacher and I have money in the teacher pension fund. And if that thing blows up, yeah, Joey, I'm with you, man. Joey, you and I should do stream together, man. We would be one hell of a pair. It's just so I mean, we didn't do this, and I'll say this 100 times over. We didn't do this, they did, and I've done this in the video. We didn't do this, they did, and it's really true. We didn't do this, so we're just investing in stocks that we like and investing in companies that we stand for, and CEOs we actually like. Because I think Ryan Cohen is a stand-up dude, and I am coming to the side that I think Adam Aron is a stand-up dude, but I'm not afraid to call him out. It's like telling your best friend, trying and hurting his feelings because you're trying to help him. You got to do that stuff sometimes. You got to set them straight. And that's all I'm trying to do with Adam Aron. I got some pushback, not much, from people saying, like, let the CEO do his job. Dude, he's been doing it. And honestly, if you're saying let the CEO do his job, he's had more time than most. And you say, well, it's only been 2 years. Nah, it has not. His company has been shorted for like 5 years. And COVID woke all of us up and got us involved because of, let's be honest, like, for me anyway, it was DFV. It was DFV and his GameStop thing. And then you started looking into it and like, AMC is the next one. And you're like, oh, really? Well, it's only, at that time, it was like $7. You're like, oh, cool. Or it's $13. I mean, my first time I bought my shares, it was 13. And you start following it and you start reading it and you're like, damn. And the reason people got an AMC, because they couldn't afford GameStop at $250 a share. That's the reason AMC ripped, and the buying pressure. And then things started popping up. Cat Stryker starts flying airplanes. And here we are. So let me go with the comments. Manny, it's not who's managing the pension funds. Yeah, so Manny's saying it's not who's managing the pension funds, it's saying which bank is backing them and what derivatives or what collateral. Manny, I'm trying to look at your profile picture. It's so funny how somebody put in, and Manny, I agree with you. Yeah, it's all of them, right? So whoever's managing them is getting money. It's all like about kickbacks. When this thing takes off, man, I mean, I tell you what, I'll make you this promise. And I said I didn't know how long I would stay after Squeeze, but I will stay for all of us to somehow line up our money in the right place. Why we just blindly give money to investments in terms of these funds. I think the funds and word needs to get out that those things are the thing of the past. You can all make your own fund. You can all pick 5, 6, 10 stocks you like. And I honestly will tell you, it's probably safer to do it than to just blindly hand some money over to some advisor and let him do it. Because most of the time when an advisor is giving you a fund that he says is great, he doesn't know what's in it. He knows who manages it, but he doesn't really know what's going on. And if any of you have mutual funds or ETFs through your work, or you set something up when you were younger and you still have it, look at the stocks they're buying. I guarantee half of them you don't even know what the hell they are. It's because they're hiding bad bets inside your ETFs. They're hiding them. They're putting shit that they lost money on, and they're just dumping it in there and telling you, congratulations, you made 6% in a bull market. And they're going to tell you, oh, I'm so sorry, the market went down, you lost 3%. I mean, I'll be honest with you, out of all the words that I think will shut me down on YouTube, that kind of shit that I talk about there will get me kicked out. um, so I try to stay away from it because I want to be with you guys to the end. But when we get ours, oh yeah, they're gonna get theirs because I'm not gonna hold back on that kind of crap because I believe it's just it's a big Ponzi scheme from the bottom, from your buddy who sells you the fund all the way clearly to the top, who's running the show here. And it doesn't matter who's running the show because we could say Trump, Biden, all this, and obviously Joe Biden is not doing a good job. But Trump knew about the market. He knew what's going on. People are like, oh, he called out Ken Griffin in that press conference. He did not. Why was Ken Griffin even there? He probably had lunch with him. So let's just stop with that. Like, he didn't call Ken Griffin out. Ken Griffin gives money to his political campaigns. He's doubled, tripled down the ante on giving people these politicians some money because he knows. And I do think it's interesting if you guys see, I don't know if you saw this, but I'll try to find it. Ken Griffin sells house to A-Rod. A-Rod buys Star Island waterfront. Yeah, so Alex Rodriguez just bought Ken Griffin's waterfront house, and I guess according to some, Star Island, and Mr. Simon, you probably know anything about Star Island? It seems like that's a pretty hot property. He bought 1 acre. So Ken Griffin bought it for $24 million. He sold it. I think he sold it for 18 something. Let me get this out of here. So I can't even see it. Whatever. Oh yeah, 18.5. I was close. Yeah, 18 something. Something was 0.5. So he sold this and obviously took a loss. But here's the funny thing about these hedgies, man. This right here, that is what you always got to pay attention to. He appraised it at 44 million. Guess what he's going to do because he sold it at 18.5. He probably isn't, if he's going to take a loss this year in the market, which is clear, and he wanted to get rid of this property to give himself some sort of liquidity in terms of that 18 million, he's going to write that off. So, oh, I heard it. Yeah, I did see it. Donahue was talking about it. Yep. Well, if it's called Star Island, it's if you're not a star, I guess you can't get that. You can't get on the island. It's probably how that works. There's probably like a $100 toll. But so there you go. I mean, Ken Griffin, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm going to give you a quick lesson on how hedgies buy art. It's pretty interesting, and it was circulating probably a year and a half ago. So what hedge funds do is with this whole art thing is they'll commission an artist to paint a picture, right? And it could be crap. I mean, it could just be a red streak on a big white canvas. So they'll commission this artist, and then they'll get, and it's probably an established artist. They probably have work, and then they'll get their own appraiser, and they'll appraise that painting at, like, let's say they appraise the painting at $3 million. So then they hold on to that painting, and then they donate the painting to a museum. And then they get a $3 million write-off of their taxes. And it probably ended up cost them $20,000 to get that whole thing done. You see what I'm talking about? You see what kind of shit they get away with? I mean, that is unbelievable. And if you think it doesn't happen, it does, because I just told you now. It's just because it's just the way it is. It's the way they treat things. It's freaking terrible. And that's why they don't pay taxes. And that's why people like us, when it says, do you want to subscribe? We always say, no, thanks. No, I don't want to buy your shit. Buy your stupid, just post your article. I'll read it. And if you only give me half of it, I'll interpret my own ending. Um, all right, so KJ, good question. I'm glad you brought it up, not me. In your opinion, does Trey, Lou, and the rest who left come back when we take off? So that's what I kind of want to start off, man. I wish I was more popular. I honestly do. And not because I want to date the captain of the cheerleaders. It's because I want to get Trey out, get Trey out on the streets, man. And not literally, but he's still got over 300,000 subscribers. Will you guys please unsubscribe to his channel? He left us, and he left me too. I was one of. I know that I subscribed to him when he was under 1,000. I enjoyed him. I kind of lost touch with him a little bit. I feel like in the past maybe 6 months. I mean, I looked at a year ago. He was still in a hotel, still military, still being cool, and it was way before black dildos and big mustaches. But KJ, I'm leery of that Trey's going to pop in and be like, woohoo, I'm back, baby. Because what's going to happen is he's going to have a couple months where he's not getting that YouTube check, and it's going to start hurting, and he'll resurrect. And if he plays the swan song and says, I was just having a hard time, I was depressed, all that stuff, and you guys buy into it, go ahead. Because honestly, he wouldn't have left unless he was paid off. That's how I feel, because you don't walk away from something like that. You don't walk away from a channel that you built as big as it was. You just don't do it. Bots. So Manny's saying bots from China, not real. Manny, what does that mean? Yeah, Joey's with me, man. I'm the same way. He was bought and paid for. So was Kevin. So was Roche Capital. I mean, I'm just going to start saying people. I don't care anymore. It's just like, who cares? Like, these guys. Oh, Trey subs. Oh. Yeah, that's interesting. So Manny's saying that his subs aren't real. Yeah, Lou. It's funny. I don't know how you for Joey, because maybe I was attracted to Lou because he's got an edge to him. But I mean, I never took obviously financial advice from him, because he gives financial advice. He tells you to buy, sell, and it's like, how does this guy get away with it? And then he's so offensive. It's like, I understand cursing every once in a while. Maybe I'll just make excuses for myself. But I just the stuff he says about like certain ethnicities, and then he acts like, and he says he's Puerto Rican, so he's allowed to say that. I'm like, that makes no sense. Just because you're Puerto Rican doesn't mean you can make fun of ethnicities and be offensive. And do we even know if he's Puerto Rican? I mean, the guy lies about everything. I mean, how long can Lou talk about this is going to run? We're going to have our run. And he pushes stocks that you can't buy. XRP. I can't buy it. I don't know where to buy it. I cannot buy it. So I believe in it. I think it's a neat thing. It's a neat software, but you can't buy it anywhere. So he's pumping XRP. And then when people ask where you could buy it, he'd be like, oh, I think you can buy it on Kraken. No, you can't. So, and then he pushes these penny stocks. And let me just tell you something about penny stocks. You think there's no regulation in our stock market? When I say ours, in New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, those penny stocks, you can literally, on the OTC market, you can literally just make up a story about a company. And there's really no regulation to stop it. So if all of us started a company and started selling penny stocks on it, we can make up that we have some cure for some crazy disease, and it's a one shot, one and done. You'll never get it again. And people could say, oh man, they're great. And then we could hire some scientists to give us some write-up saying that it's true. And who knows if the scientist is even real. And we could do that for like 6 months, sell this thing, make some millions, and then peace out. And honestly, there's really no regulation on something like that. Yeah, I mean, you could get sued. You can sue anybody. You can sue me. I can sue you. You can sue anybody. But you kind of get what I'm saying. That OTC stuff is dangerous. And there's a reason that it's not on the New York Stock Exchange, because they don't want it on there yet. You have to establish like some financial backing. You have to establish things before you can get put on the New York Stock Exchange. So just be careful of our buddy from Harlem. You can tell the interaction on comments and comments that they leave. Technology is actually pretty impressive. Yeah. So, Manny, you know, it's funny. You know what I get sometimes that I didn't know this existed. And to be honest with you, I love this crap is, and you guys will get a kick out of this. So I get when you guys leave comments, and if you leave comments, you know that I respond to them. I mean, I guess one day if I ever got 1,000 comments a day, obviously I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. But with the amount of comments that I do get, I do take the time to answer you guys. And I get these chains where like it'll start like this, and this is a bot. It says, "Oh, hi, where do I buy crypto?" And obviously I don't talk about crypto. So, and then the next thing says, it's like another profile, and it says, "Oh, I heard Joey Smith is a crypto expert. Here's his link." And then the next thing goes, "Joey Smith, he's great. I made $5,000 with him." And it's like it just 18 comments. It just keeps flowing. And I go in there and get rid of it. But let's be honest, if I had 1,000 comments in there, I would never. There's a really good chance I wouldn't even see it. So the bots are impressive. You know, I love technology, man, and I do think it's going to be the downfall of our society, and I do think that is what's going to kill us. And maybe that's what's happening now with algorithmic trading and all the other crap that they get to do. But also, Manny saying they taught you who bought bots from China, because right after you follow them, you start getting invites from Chinese girls that work at banks in China. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so you kind of know what I'm saying. Yeah, street cred, I'm with you, man. I just, I know everybody keeps saying don't follow the line, and I've been saying that too, and then I follow the line and get mad and get upset. But at this point, at these prices, it might as well be zero to us. Just think about it like that. Just think about that our stuff is at zero and we're not selling. Or no, it's at a penny. So everything's a penny and we're not selling. I had somebody come on my comments and said something pretty interesting to me. And this is just, I want everybody to have perspective. This is not what I think happened, because I haven't gotten any, my position has been what it's been. So when ape was released, I kept my ape. That's what I've done. And like I said, I'm just looking at these two stocks as they're both worth a penny and waiting for the CEO to get with it, to just do something. I should have Twitter up. Where's Twitter? Because I think I was answering KJ's question and I didn't. Sometimes that's my problem too. I got to be better at that. Is sometimes I start talking and one thing opens up another side of my brain that starts opening something else up. It's like I start talking about Ryan Cohen and somehow I get caught up in some other question or Chinese bots. Yeah, if you're in there, like I said before, please like, subscribe. It's really true. Is if you subscribe and like the videos, then when someone searches it, it'll just pop up. And I think my videos will at least provide something more than a lot of these videos provide, is the fact that I'm not reading a Twitter feed. I'm not reading a chart. Charts are shit right now. Take it from somebody who makes money in the market. It doesn't make any sense to do technical analysis when all these guys are saying that we're Bollinger Bands, we're so tight it's going to explode. Well, yeah, we know that already. Like, the buying pressure is more than the selling pressure. They suppress it in the dark pools. And the only way that it's ever going to pop is when they blow up. When the banks say enough is enough, you owe us this much money, hand it over, and they're not going to be able to keep swapping debt with each other because eventually that's why we need banks to go down. When banks start falling, hedges start falling. And that's it. So let's get into the Ryan Cohen stuff. I can't decipher any of his nonsense. I know a lot of his tweets had to do with like sex and 69 and Dr. Ruth for Dummies, which everybody kind of interpreted Dr. Ruth being DR and then sex S DRS. So he's telling everybody to DRS their shares. Okay, I got that. But this whole sex stuff, and he's always like, low interest rates may prove to be like easy sex. And then he said, I think my tweets are being suppressed. Well, people don't get his notifications. I don't get his notifications either. So when he puts a tweet up, I'm just constantly looking. And I just catch his stuff because I'm always looking. I have like a thing where I look at Adam. Now Bigums is on that list. So Bigums, if you're out there, hit me up. Where's my boy Wildfire? Street cred. Lowest price in a while. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna go down, and that's the thing. I think we should all just root for it to just go to nothing, like to dot, because that's what they're trying to do. It takes a lot of money to do what they're doing. So that's the good news. It takes a lot of money to do what they're doing to drive this down. Because there are exchanges and there are institutions that are buying direct that Citadel, or not even Citadel, any market maker is not taking the payment for order flow stuff. And also, oh, dude, this is what I got to show you guys. This is something that I picked up on. I don't know if you guys picked up on this or not. And you can take your own interpretation of this. So, you see this? This is MooMoo. No, I'm not selling you MooMoo. They say that they're a commission-free professional trading app that doesn't do payment for order flow. All right. Anybody trade on MooMoo? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? So this is pretty interesting. I found out that MooMoo is a Chinese stock brokerage app. Do what you want, Joey Booms. Give me your opinion on now that if you didn't know that, let me just drop that to you. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel, Joey. MooMoo is a non-payment for order flow Chinese brokerage app. Oh, MooMoo's our friend, right? They won't do anything bad to us. They don't do payment for order flow. Well, if Joey's not going to jump in and talk about it, I'm going to say it. I don't trust, man. I'm sorry. I know that Chinese people are great people, but the country is communist. And MooMoo is a communist stock brokerage, right? So I'm sure you guys watch Thomas James. I think he's a good dude. But then you start thinking, like, I'll be honest, like, I won't do this because I just don't think, I'm big into karma. I mean, let's be honest, I get really big, is going to knock on my door and want me to do freaking little commercials, and just like Thomas James does and says, click on this, you get 15 free stocks. MooMoo is the only payment for order flow. Yeah. Oh, the only payment for order flow brokerage out there. MooMoo does not take their orders from Citadel, Ken Griffin, and all the hedgies, right? Okay, well, all right. Well, no, they don't, because that's their brokerage. So if you are in there I'm sorry, but you are dancing with the devil. You are dancing with the devil. And that is a hidden little thing that I found out about MooMoo. And China is not our friend. They are not. So just be careful. A Chinese brokerage that doesn't route their orders through Citadel market makers, of course they don't. They route it through their own banks and their own thing. Because when shit hits the fan, oh no. Oh yes. Sorry, Mr. I don't mean to make fun of them. I'm not. I mean, I'm a clown. So I will make fun of anything and anyone. And like I said before, if I bust on people, you better damn well know that I expect it to come down this way. Never in a second, never will I, someone will make fun of me. I'm sure I do something, like I said, whether it's my appearance or the way I talk, I'm sure I do something that somebody can make fun of. So I'm more than willing to accept that. But what I'm doing is putting out information like that, and that MooMoo stuff, knowing this, and that's like almost like seems like it's on the down low, but it is true. It's a Chinese app, so do what you want with it. Me personally, I'm not touching that. It sounds like the Evergrande of stock brokerages. All right, Joey, I'm not going to kick you out but I don't understand why. And it's just that listen, you hear about Bigum's talking about get out of ISDA banks, and you should like do that, I guess. Like, and I understand it. I mean, Bank of America, there's some places that are scary, but then there's a lot of movement when you close a bank account, especially when you're of age, meaning you're in your 30s and 40s. I mean, my money is really like in my brokerage accounts. So it's not like really sitting in my bank account per se. But Robinhood, when shit hits the fan, dude, they're going to close doors. So all I can say is, dude, I transferred. It's easy. I was in it. I mean, I was in it 2 years ago. But transferring is really easy. And I think it's just good. It's like diversifying. What's the best brokerage? In my opinion, let's put it this way. BlackRock and Vanguard are the two biggest money players in the world. You can't invest your money in BlackRock. That's like invitation only. So unless you had an oil field, I don't think BlackRock's taking your money. I mean, I think you buy stock in BlackRock. I'm sure they'll let you buy a fund. So that's the Vanguard is probably, everybody's doing all sorts of stuff with swaps and debt and all that stuff. But let's start looking and saying, okay, if shit hits the fan and everybody goes down, who's the last to go down? And to be honest with you, I think it's Vanguard. So that's how I figure that out, Isaiah. Now they could be doing some nefarious stuff that we don't know about, but it doesn't seem so. The founder of Vanguard is no longer alive. And I just know this because they're actually relatively local to Philadelphia. They're actually based out of Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. So that's how they started. And man, look how they have grown. My goodness. So that's just how I view it, is that if things really blow up, and I just don't think they will, but I think they'll blow up to a certain extent. But I've said this 100 times over. When this thing goes down and they're like, oh, everyone's going to suffer. Yeah, so are the rich. So if you can put some of this money in back into circulation, because Jeff Bezos is not going to spend his $290 billion. Yeah, they do. Childs, they do. They have an app. And it's actually gotten better. So, yeah, you can do everything on the phone. It's not Webull or Robinhood. I mean, And let me tell you why it's not, because I just think they don't care about that stuff because they're too interested in other things. It's kind of stupid. I mean, just get somebody to program the apps. I think as things progress, things will get better on that end. But you can still trade. And you might be like, what's annoying about trading on a Vanguard app is they always ask for passwords and verifications and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's annoying, but that kind of says they're legit. Instead of like accidentally, my buddy, I think he accidentally pressed a button and he sold some of his shares because it's so easy and convenient on Robinhood to do that. Yeah, Vanguard's legit, and you can buy stocks. That's my primary, and that's who I support. And listen, Fidelity's another one at the bottom, and you keep hearing stuff about Fidelity doing stuff. Oh, do you guys hear this? This is why I love talking to you guys, because you do bring stuff up. People are saying that if you try to buy Ape on Fidelity with unclear funds, you have to wait 4 to 5 days. So this is how this kind of works. When you say, like, today you deposited, I know Vanguard's like this, and I don't know if you have to have a certain amount of money in there to do this, but Vanguard's like this, and I know Fidelity's like this. Say you deposit $1,000 into your brokerage account, you can trade on that money as almost like I gotcha. It's not on margin, but it's like, I know it's coming. We've already cleared your bank. It's like, I gotcha. And then you can buy, but you can't sell until your money clears. So if you deposit $1,000 today in Fidelity or Vanguard, you can buy your 100 shares or whatever, your 50 shares. And as long as you hold on to it until your money clears, like I said, they got you. But people were saying that they're doing that in Fidelity, and just for Ape, you have to wait 4 to 5 days. You have to wait till your money clears before they'll allow you to purchase Ape. So they're delaying people purchasing Ape, which is kind of exciting because people say no dates. And I'm like, dude, if we don't have dates, we have no hope. We want dates. We want dates. I want hope. I need hope. I mean, if I don't have hope, I got nothing. I got to listen to Darren on Stock Mafia and listen to that dickhead tell me shit. I mean, if you don't have hope, you got nothing. So you got 4 to 5 days to buy Ape. And that's crazy. So they're delaying the purchase of Ape right now. It's wild. It's wild. Speaking of wild, where's Wildfire? Where's my man? He's probably busy. He's got to work. We all got to work. What they say in Bronx Tale, working man's a sucker. That's how the Hedgies feel. If you ever saw Bronx Tale, it's a good movie. One of my favorites. That and Step Brothers. So I got one movie that's angry and mafia-esque, and Step Brothers is just one of the silliest movies I've ever seen, and every time I watch it, I crack up. So guys, I answer your questions on Vanguard, and if you sign up for Vanguard on the link below, and no, there's no link. See, that's the thing too. Vanguard's so like established. They don't need like YouTubers or commercials or people they don't need to give away free stocks. I bought one Ape on public after Thomas Change. So was he lying about that, Childs? See, the one thing I give Thomas like a little leeway. See, once again, like I just feel like he just reads people's tweets. Like if I was Spence, and like I said, like I got nothing against the dude. Like I just don't like when people lie. And then, then you blocked me. So it's like, oh, so you just told me I was right. So there you go, brother. You just told me I was right. But Thomas James, he like reads like Spence's tweets. Like, I don't even need to follow Spence. I just watch Thomas James videos. He reads them constantly and just keeps going over and over and over. Your order went through. Yeah. But he was saying that brokerages aren't selling ape anymore. Did he say specifically that Publix? See, true story. So I'm sure you guys go through this. And when I say guys, sorry, I read the analytics. 99% of all of my viewers, subscribers, views are men between the age of like 35 and 50. So it is kind of funny. And but when I watch my videos, because I have like a Fire Stick, and I'll sit on the sofa and I'll turn YouTube on, and that's how I'll watch. It's the best way to watch YouTube. You don't have to watch it on your phone. You don't have to watch it on your desktop. Just get a smart TV, get a Fire Stick or a Roku, and watch this on television. I mean, honestly, I don't even need to buy cable. I shouldn't even have cable. If I didn't need sports, like live sports, I would not even have. I don't have cable. I have YouTube TV. There's my plug. I had Hulu Live Sports, the worst streaming for sports because it always kicks out. It's terrible. Here. So, Mr. Simon, I hear Fidelity is one of the best brokers out there. I mean, account with them, but I got the message that I can't use it for trading stocks because my 401k company uses Fidelity or something. No shit. That's weird. Huh. So, Mr. Simon, you're obviously a much better employee than I am. So what I had done was when I had all my jobs where I've like had my 401k about 6 or 7 years ago, I pulled all that stuff together because I thought, man, if I die, like nobody's gonna know where my money is, and that's gonna suck for them. I don't know Fubu, Childs. I don't know him. I mean, as long as you can get the app, my whole thing is I'm just saying like sit on a TV and watch YouTube is pretty cool. And I'm like looking to my left here because my television's on the wall. I'm sorry. I'm thinking you're saying I'm like because Fubo is like TV, like Fubo TV. Heavily shorted. I don't know. And to be honest with you, like, and I'll be straight with you, like that's the type of stock that I probably won't follow, Fubo, because I mean I would more or less, yeah, I don't know. Like there's so much competition out there with streaming right now. The big boys are going to gobble those guys up. So you could you're I think you when you look at a stock like that, you're hoping to and this brings up another point. You're hoping to that it gets like acquired or something. That's how I view that stuff. But hoping for an acquisition, that's like a Hail Mary, man. So I only get involved in stuff that I know about and stuff that I actually use or understand. I think that's really key. I don't think you should ever really buy a stock. Don't buy a stock because somebody suggests it or an email sent out unless you do your research. Because if you don't know the importance of semiconductors and chips in this world, you should not be investing in AMD or NVIDIA. Two great companies. But my point is just make sure. Oh, okay. And when you say football, do you mean soccer? I better get this MooMoo crap off here because people will think I'm trying to sell a MooMoo. I'm not. MooMoo is China. If you just roll in here, so just be careful. There's my public service message. 20 cents. Yeah, I mean that. But Childs, if you're following everything, I mean, isn't everything heavily shorted? I know, but I'm with you, dude. I'm not. Trust your gut. Trust your research. I don't. I'm not going to dive into that. And I know I made a video I made a video, I guess maybe last week. It seems like it's like last year, but last week saying that, we're going to play offense. And I still believe in playing offense. And that's what you're doing, is looking at stuff that's moving. But what's nice to follow other stocks for anything, even for psychological aid, is everything's going down. So stocks that I've owned in the past that obviously I'm like, oh, wow, that's really taking a shot. Let me see. Under Armour. I mean, Under Armour's been under a 7. I've owned them a bunch of times over the years. Neo. I mean, I was trading Neo. I never. I mean, you never. It's impossible to hit the peak, but I think it was a 52-week high. I don't think it's still on there, but at one point the 52-week high was like $62, and I think I sold it at like 60. That was a swing trader's dream, Neo, for me anyway. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, college football. I got you, Childs. I love college football. I didn't go to Penn State, but because my family, I think I'm the only non-college graduate from Penn State on my side of the family. It's pretty interesting. And there's like 10 of us, and so I grew up. My dad was like Joe Paterno. So I grew up being a Penn State football fan, and all that. So now I follow the Penn State Nittany Lions playing Michigan this weekend. I don't know. I don't think they have it. What kills me is Penn State gets crazy recruits, but I don't know. I don't know how well coaching they get, because they get kids like they're the one kid, Will Levis, who is it with Kentucky now. It's going to be like a top 3 draft pick. He transferred out of Penn State because he couldn't get on the field. Meanwhile, they've had the same quarterback for like 6 years. I'm like, my God, I didn't know you go to college for 6 years and actually play football for 6 years. But he's been the quarterback forever, and they haven't won anything with him. They really haven't. So, but meanwhile, a kid that transfers out is now going to be a top 3 draft pick in the NFL. Time to look yourself in the mirror, Mr. Franklin. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just looking at all these. I'm looking at my phone. I mean, I could bring up and for those of you who jumped in, like I said, please subscribe, share my videos. It's very important. It's just important for us. It's really to protect your investment, and it's not really sharing my videos. You find something that's more pertinent and something that's just as important, share it, tweet it. Keep pressure on these CEOs. Keep pressure on them, because if they don't feel the pressure, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing, because Adam Aaron didn't start standing up to short sellers until we came into the picture. He didn't do nothing. He did nothing. Okay? So don't sit there and say, let the CEO do his job. Let him do his job. He's doing his job. His job is to help shareholders. That is what, or he says shareholders. Adam Aaron, shareholders. It is his job to do that. So it is our job to put pressure on our CEO and tell him what the hell we want. So don't back down. You don't have to be me. Like, you don't have to put your face on YouTube. You don't have to try to start a YouTube channel. You can do it. Do it. But just be vocal. Get a Twitter account and tweet, like, retweet. Actually, I found out that likes don't really even mean anything in Twitter. It's the retweeting that really makes the message go out there. And honestly, guys, I don't care. If you have 10 followers, like, post my video. Just do it. Take you like 4 seconds. If you think I'm saying something that people need to hear, because here's the thing too. One thing we want to do, and this is why I am here, we want to make sure that people understand that we're all in this together and we're all going through the same thing. Like me and Joey Booms, Mr. Simon, we're pissed off, right? Mr. Childs, pissed off. We're mad. We're like, this is ridiculous. Why am I in this stock for this long? I don't want to be here anymore. Can Can the hedgies just, I mean, I never, and this is not, I'm not telling you what to do, obviously not financial advice, but why have they not let this thing run to like, I said this a year ago. Why are you letting this thing run to $300 and see how many people sell? Yeah, but Joe, you understand what I'm saying? Like, why haven't you just like let this thing run? And I guess if it's, I don't even know if my calculator can do this, but I'll bring it up. I'll make it big here. So you can't make the calculator big on a Mac. Interesting. But there's some rumor out there. Oh, I need commas. All right, that's 900,000. So that's 9 million. That's 9 billion. So 9 billion times, let's just let it go to $300 a share. What is that? Man, I don't even know what the hell that is. That's just a big ass number. Let me do it. Let me do it on my phone. I've got like a form of like, I don't know, ADHD, dyslexia. I need commas in that thing, man. I can't figure that out. I have my strengths and weaknesses. All right, I'm going to do 9 billion. That's 900 million. 9 billion times $300. So it's 2.7 trillion. So if there's really 9 billion shares out there, if they let it go to $300, it would be 2.7 trillion. But that's not real to me. Like, and the thing is, like, we're finding out that there's so much more money out there than they ever let on. And that's the joke to me. It's like, I said this, and I'm sure you guys have said this. I said, man, if you don't fix this soon, people are just going to keep digging and digging and digging to the point where they're going to find out what you had for breakfast this morning. They're going to be like, you just had granola cereal with a side of strawberries, you piece of crap. And yeah, Joey, I'm with you, man. It's getting long enough. I guess when you say yes, you're agreeing to me. Like, why haven't they like just let it run? Just let it run to whatever. I think once we start getting into the $1,000 range, I think things are going to get wild. I really do, because it should get there. It will get there. I think things are going to get really wild. And people are like, oh, we can't let the financial system collapse. What are you talking about? Like, stop. That to me is like, this is how I feel about that. Like, they are doing this, not us. Like, stop saying like we can't let this happen. We can do whatever the hell we want. They do. They have no problem. Like, if you made a bad bet in the market, they have no problem taking your house. They don't give a crap about you, so stop caring about them. And they won't let the financial system collapse. You know why? Because their dollar won't be worth anything. And they can't let the stock market go to nothing. That is like a big PR, public relations nightmare for them, because no matter what they say is, yeah, they want retail's money, because what they want us to do is they want us all to work our asses off during the week, and say we bring home $1,000 a week, whatever. I'm just using a number. Doesn't mean you have to or make less, whatever. You bring home $1,000 a week. They want you to invest $100 a week of that money in the market so they can steal it from you. That's what they want. That's their goal. Do they want you to invest more? Sure they do, but they're cool with that. You know, because if you make $40,000 a year and you put $1,000 a year in the market, then they're cool with them. They're cool with stealing that money from you. They don't want us to leave. They can't. Vanguard can't survive without retail. Their whole basis is retail. Vanguard, the difference between BlackRock and Vanguard is BlackRock serves the rich. Vanguard serves the people. Vanguard's big business is selling funds, selling 401ks to small businesses. Like, that's their thing. So Vanguard doesn't want the market to go because they lose their money, they lose their market. That's their niche. So that's my thing. So that's a Vanguard is the big brokerage for the little guy. And they're the two big players in the world are Vanguard and BlackRock. Well, you and I can't get a meeting at BlackRock. We don't have enough money. And I don't know how much money that takes, but I bet you if you had $5 million, you probably couldn't get a meeting at BlackRock. I think there's some dark money in there. I just do, because I've never come across the opportunity to put my money in that brokerage. Just never have. And I've always been fascinated with them because they were established in 1997 and they have more money than God. How? How is that possible? Did you invent something? Like when you say Apple's a successful company and they have all this money, it makes sense because you're like, yeah, because everybody has one of these or one of these computers. Everybody has Apple. And that's how they create revenue. And my God, do you know how much money they make in that app store? Talk about transactions. I mean, they were taking, Fortnite. If you guys don't know about Fortnite, it's a video game. It's very popular with like young, probably kids from like the ages 5 to 11 or 12 play the crap out of Fortnite. And they sell all their digital assets and Apple takes a cut of it. And I think it's something crazy. Like Apple made like $30 million off of their, and Fortnite made like $1 billion by selling like digital clothes to their characters. But Apple then made a huge thing. So Mr. Simon is saying only people who can have meetings with BlackRock are the ones that go to Epstein Island and the one that eats. I'll read that because that's true. Only people that can have meetings with BlackRock are the ones that can get to go to Epstein Island. Yeah, you get a season pass to Epstein Island, and the ones that eat children's blood. Yep. So, Mr. Childs, universal basic income coming to a state near you. But here's the thing with that. Like, so people talk about that. How is that even work? Universal basic income. So we all get $30,000 a year. And that's communism. And we're smart people. If you were educated in the United States, because I can only speak for the United States, I can't speak for other countries. They've taught us well. They might have told us, that Christopher Columbus discovered America and meanwhile he killed all the Indians. They could tell us, but most of the stuff we've trained our brains to think with both sides and figure things out. Universal basic income discourages innovation. I think it's funny. Like I read a story because like I said, I'm a business teacher, so I read a lot of this stuff. And funny story about this, and I have stories. This one makes me a great YouTuber. In Cuba, so Cuba doesn't have the greatest economy, and I would love to go visit there because I heard that, and this, you see in pictures, but obviously I've never been there. And if anybody's been there and seen it, it's probably pretty cool. When we cut off Cuba, one of the presidents, we stopped like exporting to them, importing, whatever. We pretty much cut them off. So they had all these like cars from like the 1950s. And because they don't get the cars, they learned how to fix them. And they said when you go to Cuba now, everybody's driving around like 57 Chevys and all these like classic cars. And it's like regular because that's their car. It's like the car they take to the grocery store, where in America, it's your grandfather's car that he only takes out on Sundays for the car show. Then he only drives at 11 miles. So I think that's pretty interesting. Where am I going with this? Oh, so in Cuba, I read this story about how this family started a restaurant and it was very successful and they were making good money and they got themselves out of poverty. And when they started really making good money, Castro came in and taxed the living crap out of them, where he was taking like 70% of their profits, which then they were working so hard and they just said, screw this. We'll just go back to universal basic income. It's easier to just do what we were doing than have this huge profitable restaurant where the government comes in and takes a huge tax cut. So that's my whole thing with that. Could it happen? Maybe. I mean, listen, the people that are in power right now, they're very short run thinking. I mean, you only live once. So they're just thinking, as Mr. Simon said, yeah, I got 25 years left in this thing. I want everybody to be my slave. I want to be able to go to any Epstein Island I want with my season pass, and screw everybody else, because that's how a very small percentage of people think. And if you're like a trust fund baby and you've never had a job before and your way of life is threatened, you're going to do whatever you can to keep it that way, like you're to fight for it. So we're coming for you. How about that? The funny thing is like I could live in a shed, and if I wanted to, I could kill squirrels and cook them. I mean, I'll do whatever it takes to survive. So that's the funny thing about these rich pricks. You don't know what hard work is, and you don't know what buying and holding is. You don't know. You question our heart. You fuck with the wrong people. That's all I got to say about that. All right, so Kia Mike. All right, I'm going to read your stuff here. I'm not going to read it out loud yet because that's the one thing I learned from Trey is Trey would read his comments and somebody would slip something in there like black dildo, and he'd be like, "You got me," and that's kind of where Trey lost me with all that stuff. But simple stores. So Kia Mike, and I don't know what your angle is here. Are you saying this is a good thing? This program? Oh, okay. So you are. Yeah, I mean, I hear you, and I've never experienced that part of my life. So I don't know, you're laughing. So I don't that's the problem with text. It can be interpreted one way. You could be telling me this sucks, or you could be telling me that's the way it is. I need to understand what you're feeling here. So Mike's saying, I'll read this. Let's say it's very simple. Fast food joints, small purchase stores can work 24 hours a day with autonomy. Yes, the fact McDonald's would not make having workers and having everything fully autonomous quadruples. Yes, because you're thinking like automation, obviously. If some companies are more productive without workers being fully autonomous, they can afford to pay more money to keep other people at home that would not be able to have those jobs. See, there's the thing. I think you assume that they're going to do that for you. Maybe in the short run, but you'll get screwed. You just will. It's not communism, dude. So you call me dude, so now I know you're mad at me. It's a socialist program that doesn't allow or prevents people from going into complete poverty, like homelessness. Yeah, listen, does homelessness exist anymore? Most people around my area, the reason they're homeless is they're addicted to drugs. So you want to get into the socialism part of it. Don't do drugs. You won't be homeless, because I've worked in some, and see, this is where you're going to dive into something where I'm going to stick it to you too. I've worked in some really impoverished areas. I was a school teacher in some very impoverished school districts and schools. I've seen it. Like I've seen it. And they're not homeless. Does their roof leak? Yes, but they're not homeless and their heat is on and the government pays for everything. And I do believe that it is a crutch. It keeps people. I also know people that were like, and here's the thing too. Sometimes someone will come in and be like, "Oh, I'm a medical technician." True story. I'm not using names. True story. I'm a medical technician. Oh, what do you? Oh, I've worked in like eye doctors places. How much do you get paid? I get paid $14 an hour. Okay. Well, why don't you do it anymore? Well, because if I make over $30,000, the government cuts me off and I don't get food stamps and I don't get health care and I don't get money for housing. Over 30. So she is incentivized to not work. So you want to get into that, and that sucks. And you think, nah, man, it's good for her. No, it's not. Because she should be incentivized to do more, not do less. It's better for society. You can, and listen, the automation, I've sold. See, this is where you guys are at a disadvantage. You probably have never had as many jobs as I had. Automation is out there. I've sold manufacturing equipment to food manufacturers, pharmaceutical manufacturers. Automation is out there. They can make a robot pretty much do anything, especially make our food. Mix it, cook it, stamp it, make a cookie, squirt it, cook it, pack it. Can all be done. And really, you need like two guys to make sure that everything's working. And if something gets stuck, they can go over and fix the conveyor belt and then press start again. But the output of food, they can get that done real fast. So Kia Mike, I'm just telling you the direction that most high-tech companies are going. They're hiring the most sophisticated people and basically only jobs available. No, I know. No, and I know that, and I experienced that too. I experienced that. It's, part of the reason that I'm self-employed is because I'm a highly qualified individual and you're not willing to pay me that much. So I'm like, well, screw, I'm not working. Everything now, it's kind of funny, but everything now is like entry level. You could have 15 years experience as a sales rep. You could have owned your business and sold it and all these little things that I've done in my life. And they're like, yeah, well, we got his entry level position for you. Entry level. You're going to find out that I can do all these things. You're going to give me responsibilities that are not entry level, but you call it entry level so that you can pay me a low wage. Screw that, man. Okay, so you brought up Walmart. Do you know that Walmart purposely pays their people less because they know what government programs they can qualify for? So essentially, a government pays, and this is not anything busting on Walmart workers. I love the people. I don't like the 1%. That's the bottom line. And even if I was a 1%er, I still wouldn't like the 1%. I don't like bad people. I just don't like them. I think they're shit. And I think they're the selfishness. But let me just tell you a little Walmart story. Walmart purposely pays their people less so that they can qualify for programs like food stamps and housing and stuff like that. So essentially what the government is doing and our tax money is paying for Walmart's workforce. And if you didn't just realize, one of the Waltons, because Mr. Walton, who owned Walmart, started that all, owned Sam's Club, all that nonsense. He had like 6 kids. There's 6 of the richest people in the world. One of the Waltons just bought the Denver Broncos for like $6.2 billion. So our government tax money helps fund Walmart's workforce. And then these dickheads get to go buy football teams for $6 billion. It's wake up time, man. And they're scared. They're so scared of us God, they're scared of us. Me too, me too. I do agree with you on the money. Homeless, aka junkies, are doped up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Kensington's a bad spot in the Philadelphia area for that. Yeah. So, Kia Mike, I mean, you and I, whether we agree or disagree, I think we're on the right side of we're just for people, you know what I mean? Just doing the right thing. We get, and that's the thing too. You get difference of opinions, but we're just here doing the right thing. All right, let's. Not that I want to. I'm scared to, but let's look at Ape and AMC. I mean, it's down. What's the Dow Jones? I don't know why. I'm waiting for the Dow to drop too. SPY 358. Well, SPY's down. Yeah, these are all things that I follow. So like just for an overall, you can follow the S&P 500. You can follow SPY. You can follow the Dow Jones. That's kind of like a way to say, like, how's the market doing today? And I'm now reading a text from one of my buddies telling me we're at an all-time low. Yep, we sure are. But we're not leaving. We're not leaving. And I hate starting with negative stuff, and I stop because it's not negative. It's just the way it's going to be because we're in a war. And when you're in a war, you're gonna have to take some bullets, take some shots, and we're getting shot at, and we're absorbing all these bullets coming from these hedge funds and banks because they're taking our bullets. We just don't know it yet, and they won't tell us, but it does come up. I mean, Ken Griffin's selling assets, which is probably pretty interesting. Why is a market maker or a billionaire selling properties at half price to a place that he actually said that he was going to move to? That's interesting to me. Now, getting your Star Island appraised at 44 million, selling it for 18.5. I know how this all works. You're going to write that loss off. What is that? 21.5 21.5 as a loss, so you don't have to pay the taxes on that. Unbelievable. One day we'll all be able to do that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's one of these things, man. It's one of these things. These people, we just got to keep standing up to them. And like I said, if you're in the stream and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like my videos, watch all my damn videos, sell them. Just because I just believe my message is one for the people. And we don't have anybody right now. We just don't. We have people that read Twitter feeds. They're very few and far between. And I've said this before, and no offense against the kids, but, very popular young men telling me about the stock market, and they look like they're 18 years old. And I'm not ripping on them. They might be smarter than me. They probably are, but it's just hard for me to listen to younger guys, kids that I actually probably taught in high school a year ago, telling me how the market's looking and what I should do with my money. Very hard to follow people like that. So, and I think, people like me, I just think people don't find them. Just like it would be, when we go in there, when we go into YouTube or we do a search, it's hard for us to find that kind of stuff. And we just want pertinent information because a lot of guys have left us and we don't know who to trust. And obviously you could say, I don't trust you. I don't know you. But if you watch my videos, you can kind of get a gauge. And that's why I stream. I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it because I don't know who's coming in and out of our feed. That's why I stream, because I'm putting a face and a person to the videos, and you see, I'll answer your questions. Yeah, listen, I get it. I get too popular or whatever, and the comments, like, God, back in the day when Trey's comments were just going flying, he'd have to super chat because people would have to, like, if people really want to ask a question, like, I guess that's how you get to the front of the line. But my goal is not to super chat. My goal is to just get people up there and make them feel like, hey, I'm with you too. And That's my problem when you get guys like Trey, no offense, but he tells a story about how he was living out of a car. Well, he's easy bait for these hedge funds. He's easy bait to pay off. Coors, same thing, easy bait. Young man, not really established in his career, and he starts getting those YouTube checks. He's easy bait. Like we'll shut you down. The threats, and maybe it's not even threats. Maybe it's just, hey, I'll give you $1 million to stop talking about AMC stock, and that might be enough for somebody to say, all right, I'll stop. You can keep your channel, you can start doing your thing, but you can't talk about AMC or GME. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, if I was that young and somebody offered me that kind of money at that age, now I'm like $1 million. That doesn't do dick. I mean, let's be honest, everybody. Yes, it's a lot of money, and everybody wishes we had it, but like, you're not retiring. You get $1 million, you're not retiring. You're doing the same thing you've done before. You just have a nicer car and maybe a nicer house, but you're not doing anything different than you were before. You might go on a vacation. Oh yeah, Kia Mike. Now we agree, my friend. We are on the same page. I don't want to be in a foxhole with Trey and that mustache. I'm not military. I might look military. If you see me, like, you might be like, dude, you a cop? I get that all the time. It's crazy. People think I'm a cop. I'm like, dude, I'm not a cop. I'm a school teacher. And if you honestly, you want to know the career that I did the longest? I was a waiter. So I identify as a waiter. So everybody has to identify as something now. It's like, hello, my name is Darren. I identify as a food service employee. Yeah, I'm not going to war with Trey because he's weak. Trey's weak. He's weak. And Trey, if you see me, I'll see you on the street and I tell you, you're a big pussy and you're weak because you made a lot of money off people's backs and we supported you and we listened to your funny stories and you bailed on everybody. I mean, maybe it's good for me. I don't know. Whatever. Joe D talking. A lot of YouTubers talk about government not wanting to squeeze. Why does no one bring up the trillions of dollars in taxes that apes would be paying? Money is not free. Yeah, I mean, that Joe Biden did bring this up when he first started his presidency 2 years ago. And listen, I paid a lot of taxes last year because I did well in the market. So I paid a handsome amount of money in taxes. I wish I could have dragged that out over a few years. That'd have been nice. I could have said, oh, I'm only gonna pay taxes on this much, and I promise I'll give it to you over the next 5 years. But that's not how it works. You make money in the market, you pay your 35, 40% on the dot. But yeah, there's a lot of money that's going to come, and I think they realize that, but I think, Joe, that they're so bought, they're so paid off that they know that they have to protect the interests of those that have paid them off, or they're just going to get exposed. I mean, once you take money from somebody, you're in it. Like, honestly, if Trey and Matt and any of these clowns like Kevin, they took money from these guys and this gets exposed, well, guess what, guys? You're going to jail. What are you taking bribes for? Bribes for what? I don't know. Maybe it's not illegal to pay somebody $1 million to say, don't talk about AMC anymore. I don't know the legality of all that. I don't know. But I know if that happened to me, I'd be whistleblowing, man. I'd be whistleblowing so quick. I'm not going to jail for nobody. No way. I do anything wrong, I'm not doing it. Can you tell me why you think the stocks actually ran up in 2021? What's your theory? Why did they run up? I mean, we were in a bull market. And just remember, the government printed all this money. They printed all this money and it didn't go to us. I mean, it did. I mean, but it's a very small percentage. It didn't go to the citizens. They gave it to banks. They essentially, when they printed this, they were like, the banks were screaming, "Oh my God, we need money! Oh my God!" It was like an opportunity for them. And when they got the money, what they did was they, and this is why the stocks ran up, Manny. They bought into companies, drove the prices up probably, but with a lot of buying pressure, and then sold off and started shorting it because they had all this money to like play with. And that's essentially what they did. I'm sure like it's way more complicated than how I explained it, but that's my opinion on it. They just had so much money to play with that they could do whatever the hell they wanted. So it's pretty wild. Well, Manny, so you're talking about like highly shorted stocks in those very few days that we had massive gains. Yeah. Look at, they control everything. And the easiest way to look at it is dark pool. So we all know that like there's been days, and I don't follow it anymore because what's the point? But there are days that there's been like 8 buys to every 2 sells of AMC. If they would, and the days that AMC might run 10% is because they just let it out a little bit. They let the buying pressure actually get into the market. Right now, what people don't understand is they're essentially holding all these buy orders. They're holding them. It's almost like all our stocks, the best way I can explain it is all our stocks are being held in a prison, in a war camp. And we are fighting this war to break down those walls and let all our people free, because our shares are our people. And when they all get free, then we're going to see price discovery. Now, do I think they're going to halt like crazy? Oh, yeah, it's going to be halt city. And maybe then I'll get what I was talking about with Joey Booms. I don't know if he's still on here, but maybe it runs to $500, $600, $700 and they halt it. And then they say, oh, we're halting it for 30 days because blah, 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 some bullshit. Meanwhile, they haven't halted it while it's going down. But, they'll say, oh, we're going to halt it for this. And then, we all get to stare at that price. And we all might have said, I'm not selling till 7,000, or I'm not selling to 2,500, or I'm not selling to 70,000. We all have our number, right? But if you're staring at something and it gets halted, and let's be honest, they make the rules. Joey, all right. They make the rules. So I wouldn't spend too much time trying to figure out why this happened and why this is. I will just tell you right now that they control everything. Think about this. Why is everybody has their list? Like I use StockTwits as my like symbols, like when I want to check all my prices. Why is some days like 99% of it's green one day and then 99% of it's red the next day? Why is that? That makes no sense. Apple has nothing to do with Neo. Carnival has nothing to do with AMC. Why is everything green and red on the same day? Because they have everything locked up in their dark pool, and they're just letting 3% of it out into the market one day, and it just makes everything green. And then they pull 20% of all the buy orders that day, and they don't let it hit the open market, and then they make everything red. It's a joke. As of now, everybody needs to understand we're not staying in the stock market. Do I believe people are going to do that? No, I don't, because I think I think people need to take a stand. I think that's what's going on right now. They just need to take a stand. Oh, all right, Manny. That's cool. Were you like testing me? You could test me. I do not try to understand everything. I mean, I will tell you, Manny, if you like, if you're gonna go dive deep into this, is was I hey Manny, so give me did I was my explanation even close to the right answer? But the whole thing is, I mean, the one thing that I know that I got right is they control everything. And right now it's just I just find that because just like you know, Manny, if like if you're testing me and that's cool, like I'd expect that is I swing trade and I pick 5, 6, 7 companies that I follow. By buying and holding, we protected their money and we helped them. I didn't realize it until a couple months ago. Oh, well, here's the thing. So you want to dive into that. Oh, if we all if half the people sold their AMC right now, this thing would run because they don't have the money right now to pay us. So are we agreeing on that, Manny? They don't have the money to pay us. So if everybody sold, yeah. But Manny, here's the thing. So what do we do now? So if your theory is true, and I'm not saying you're not, but what are people going to do? They're going to sell their position. They're going to sell their ape at $1 and their AMC at 550. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people invested, and we all got to play by a certain set of rules, whether it's tax rules. I mean, I've got some of my shares that will go long term. I mean, most of my shares are already long term. So I'm paying a 20% tax rate on that stuff. But I've got other shares that are coming up, in November. And maybe some people got into this play later. They found out about it later, which I'm sure there's a lot of people because every day more and more people get involved in the AMC GME thing. Every day that happens. So I'm sorry if I really should just read this. So Manny's saying that he knows why it happened. I know exactly why it happened. I'm probably going to make a video letting everybody know exactly what happened. By buying and holding, we protected their money. There it moved. We helped them, and I didn't realize till a couple months ago. I was trying to decide if I should make a video because people are confused. Yes, you're right on. I have clips of Citadel saying that they actually hold all the orders. So you're on point. They used to pay back bondholders of companies that they're going to bankrupt. Yeah. So I'm see like Manny, like you, like there's some stuff for me, and this is just how my brain works. Is like some stuff I don't even need to dive in because let's be honest, sometimes reading this stuff is overwhelming and a little depressing, and it's just like, man, I just want to wake up, look at my phone, see that AMC's at $1,600 a share, and start making decisions. I mean, that's what I want. That's what I want to see. But yeah, I mean, so Manny and I will agree, and he's dove into a lot of things that I appreciate. And Manny, like I said, you can hit me up on Twitter if you want to talk. But there's some stuff out there that, like I said, I don't come out here trying to say that I know everything, and that's the one thing that I don't like, and that's why I get blocked on Twitter by guys that I call out. You block me. Why? Because you're afraid I'm going to make you look dumb. Well, it just says you're dumber than you actually even show that you are. You block me on Twitter, like I'll take it. Like Manny's gonna tell me what I don't know, and he should, because part of this YouTube experience really is for me to learn and you guys to learn, and for me to kind of give you guys some feedback. I have some experience, but I don't know everything. And shit, man, the stuff that these hedgies and citadels and all these other big market makers do to us, it's like every day it's like something else. But the problem is, I think Donahue George said this best. He's like, I'm not mad at them. They're criminals, and they're going to do what criminals do. I'm mad at our government and the SEC for not stopping them. And Gary Gensler went on Jon Stewart, and I saw some clips, and he's such a puppet. He's such a pussy. He doesn't. He just makes excuses, and essentially he just says, "I work for them." Just say you work for them. I work for them, and I drop the soap. That's what I do. That's my deal. That's what I would be in prison. That's Mr. Gensler. I mean, come on, man. You're a public official. Do your damn job. Be a man. You're not a man. You don't even look like a man. You're not a man. And that's the kind of stuff that pisses me off. You're not a man. I can't stand people like that. Little frail little boy who only way that he can actually feel tough is by screwing over regular people. Good for you. Good for you. I hope Gary Gensler, there's a place for him. There's a place for him. You don't live forever. There's a place for him. We all go somewhere else, wherever that is. We're not here forever. So if you have to answer to somebody, get ready to be answering, because that's the type of person that's I'll be walking right past them and flipping them off. And be like, dude, it's awesome over here. Have fun in hell. Because that's where these guys belong. Yeah, I mean, we're getting to the end here, guys. 10 to 12. I hope everybody enjoyed hanging out with me. If I have the time, I'm gonna try to pop in. So if you follow me on Twitter, that's where I'm gonna say hey, I'm going up. I'm gonna go live stream. I would love to live stream between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern time. I think a lot of people would get on there if they're driving home or they're just sitting around hanging out. But man, that is a busy time for a dad. So it's hard for me anyway. This is the time where I know that Wednesdays are always good for me. So it's going to be a rare occurrence that I cannot do it on Wednesday, but just set your calendar. I'm going to be here every Wednesday. So Manny's saying all the CEOs, market makers, banks, brokers, hedge funds work together, coordinated. Yeah. So Manny, the only thing that I've said this from the beginning, I said, and I don't know if you jumped on late. I think the international people, the other countries, because if you guys don't understand this, the United Nations actually asked the Fed to not raise interest rates anymore because it's affecting their dollar, their money, their currency. Because when we pump up our interest rates to protect our stuff, it hurts them. So it's kind of wild. And we're going to see how that all plays out when the Fed has their next meeting and supposedly is going to bump up interest rates. And we'll see how other countries react to that because it really hurts them. It's hurting us, but it's really hurting them. And they're ahead of us in terms of hurt. So you see what's going on in England. They're where we're going to be in a couple weeks. They're like a couple weeks ahead of us. So, or maybe, who knows? But when they start falling, then the pressure is going to be put on the United States. So that's the one thing. So Manny's talking about, will they let it happen? I don't know, man. Are they going to let it just stay this way? I mean, I'm going to sit there and say they have to fix this. They just have to. And they got to pay people. It's probably not going to be as much as we all thought in the beginning, but they got to pay people. And they dug this hole. And yeah, they're not going to fill it in completely, but I think they're going to try to fill it in halfway and get people to back off of that so they can keep doing their shit. And it's up to us after this whole thing plays out to what we do. I mean, me personally, I'm probably just going to end up trying to build my business and hire people and give them a better wage because I know that will make me feel good. And as long as I have enough that I'm not worrying about money and somebody saying, oh, you need new tires in your car. That's the kind of shit that stresses me out. Then I'll be okay. I don't need much. You'll never see me in a BMW or a Lamborghini. I'm not doing it. So man, you and I agree. Like I don't believe the United States is going to let anything happen. Oh no. I don't trust them. No, they keep everything status quo. They kick the can down the road. They'll steal money out of our pension funds and blame Reddit, blaming a blog for your financial troubles. Just like GameStop, you're blaming a video game store that was going to actually corrupt your market. I mean, whew. But Manny and I, one thing we do agree with is, and we'll end on this, pay attention to what's going on internationally. Pay attention to the pressure that Germany and England, all these things, Australia, that's the kind of stuff that we want to see. We want to see action there. We want to see what they're doing because, they just made an announcement. The English Fed told another group that they needed to fix their shit by Friday. So there's my interpretation of that. But I think they've backed off on that deadline. So it's just, how can you can't fix something that's unfixable? It's like, it's like you don't have a roof on the house and you just keep putting tarps on top of it. Eventually you gotta fix the damn roof. And that's what they're refusing to do. And that's why I get into the political thing. Maybe they're just waiting for the United States, maybe until midterms come around. Maybe because they've gotten it close to this. I didn't think they were going to be able to survive to midterms. I understood their motivation to do that. Because let's be honest, if you're voting anybody back in, we need a change. And it's like every 4 years, it's like Republicans screwed up, we're going to put Democrats in. When Democrats screwed up, we're going to put more Republicans in. We got to start putting new people in. You got to start. You live in Kentucky. Like, listen, I probably lean more Republican than Democrat. Whatever. I don't lean anything. I lean toward the people. But why are you still putting Mitch McConnell still in there? Why you live in California? Why does Nancy Pelosi keep winning elections? Come on, man. Come on. So dumb. So dumb. So dumb to say that you're a Democrat or a Republican. Just be a person and pick the person that you like. So dumb. That's my opinion on that, man. That's the greatest analogy. I'll leave it this is there's a picture and I'll find it. Maybe I'll tweet it. And it's a boxing match. And it's a Democrat in one corner, Republican in another corner, and they're fighting, and everybody's in the audience. And they said, yeah, and everybody's cheering for their team, whether it's Democrat, Republican. And guess what's happening while everybody's in the audience? They're stealing your wallet. And that's what they're doing. They want us to fight Democrat, Republican. They want us to have these little squabbles because they're just going to steal your money anyway, no matter where you lean. So, all right, guys, I will see you. Stay strong, stay positive. See you in the next one. Please like, subscribe my videos. And that's it. I will see you next Wednesday. And hit me up in the comments. You got stuff to say. Obviously, I do take the time to read them. I appreciate the time and spread the love. I know my schedule has been bouncing around, but I will always be here Wednesdays. So see ya. Take care.